Thanks for joining today's snapshot for Thursday, June 11th. Again, I remind the people of Dr. Martin Luther Church that we're having an outdoor service on Sunday at 10 o'clock. I hope you can make it. June 11th is the feast day of St Barnabas, the apostle. He's one of the earliest apostles. He wasn't one of the 12, but he was one of the 70 commissioned to spread the gospel in the early church, which was called the Way. He was from the tribe of Levi, a priestly tribe for the Jewish people, and he was from the island of Cyprus. But he was part of the Cypriot movement that went to Jerusalem, and there he became a Christian following Pentecost, evidently from a wealthy family, and he sold some land and gave it to that early church movement called the Way. He vouched for St. Paul and became a partner of St. Paul in the first missionary journey that St. Paul took. He started out as Saul, became Paul, just as Barnabas started out as Joseph and became Barnabas, which means son of encouragement. Well, they went to Antioch as part of their first missionary journey. That was in Syria, and it was the third most important town in the Roman Empire, after Rome, of course, and Alexandria. And it's there in Antioch that Christians were given the nickname Christians, which obviously lasted a pretty long time. They went to the town of Lystra in Turkey as well in that journey, and there an interesting thing happened. Barnabas was referred to because of his powerful personality and evidently his big voice. He was known as Zeus, or the chief of gods. They thought Paul was Hermes, who was the messenger of the gods, and they actually brought to Paul and Barnabas, Zeus and Hermes, a garland ox, no doubt to sacrifice in their honor, which totally set them off. And they screamed, "What are you doing? We're just humans like you." They tore their clothes. It's a very interesting story. Well, another interesting part of the story of Barnabas and Paul is that they had a conflict. They were arguing over who to take along on the second missionary journey. And Barnabas wanted to take a new follower called John Mark, often referred to as Mark. And Paul said, no, I don't want him to go because he didn't fulfill his obligations during the time of our previous missionary journeys. So they had what's called a violent quarrel, and they split. And Paul goes his way, never to return with Barnabas, and Barnabas takes Mark and goes his way. I think because of that split, that's probably why we don't know much about Barnabas or hear his name much. I've never baptized anybody named Barnabas, but I have baptized a lot of people named Paul and John and Mark and Luke and so on. But he evidently was a powerful person. He died in the year 61, a martyr's death. I'm glad the church, in the early church, aired its dirty laundry. So we realize that even back then, God could use people who did not know the secret of low-level conflict resolution, which is so important in the church. We have this hymn to conclude today. For all your saints, O Lord, who strove in you to live, who followed you, obeyed, adored, our grateful hymn receive. For this, your name we bless, and humbly pray anew, that we like them in holiness may live and die in you. God bless you today.